Welcome to the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, where we have a big AFC West battle taking place as the Denver Broncos face the Oakland Raiders. And let's take a look at the standings in the West. Looks like Kansas City is going to beat St. Louis in St. Louis. For the Raiders, they have to win today to keep their playoff hopes alive. And for the Denver Broncos, Tim Tebow will get his first start. Some words of encouragement from Eric Studesville, his interim head coach, as he prepares to start for the first time in his NFL career. And it's a Tim Tebow type day. Rainy, soggy, and we're underway from Oakland. Eric Decker picks it up at the 7-yard line. And Decker crosses the 25 up to the 27. A 19-yard return. Michael Huff with the tackle. So that brings on Tim Tebow, the most decorated college player of his generation. 25th overall pick. As you see his numbers, he was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy 3 consecutive years. He won it in 07, as well as 2 national championships. And he starts for the first time here in Raider country. Noshawn Moreno running on first down over the left side. Gets to the 30. Tommy Kelly with the tackle. And it's a gain of 5. Offensively for Denver, they rank 10th in the NFL, 5th in passing, 29th in rushing.
Yeah, 74 Ryan Harris. His return 5 weeks ago was the last time this offensive line was shuffled. They've been very good up front, making way for 27 Noshawn Moreno. You just saw him run it there, 242 yards in the last couple of weeks, plus 6 pass receptions. He's going to be a key to how well Tebow plays.
So now the Wildcat, Moreno, at quarterback, decides to run the football. And he is dropped. Great job by Rolando McClain, the rookie linebacker out of Alabama, loss of 1. Raiders defense ranked 14th overall, 7th against the pass, 26th against the run.
Well, Matt Shaughnessy's he's taken the biggest step this year of any Raider defender in his second year. His teammates say he's playing Pro Bowl caliber football. And then, of course, you just saw him. Rolando McClain made that tackle. He was out last week with a foot injury. Already he looks ready to go this week. And in the back end, Nambi Asmawa, when he's on the field, it's 10 on 10, not 11 on 11. He takes one guy completely out.
3rd down and 5 at the 31. Tebow in the shotgun, passing for the first time to the sideline. Incomplete. So Denver 3 and out as the Raiders come up with some stiff defense, and that will force this Denver Broncos team to punt it away. Britton Colquitt standing around the 15, and back deep, Nick Miller. Last week, Colquitt averaged 56.2 yards per punt. He punted 5 times. The 3rd highest punting average in a game in Broncos history. Nice snap. Gets it away. Wobbly kick toward the sideline. Takes a bounce. And will be down at the 38. And a flag on the play all the way back at the 29. And that will be a 30-yard punt.
Not a very good punt. It's going to give the Raiders pretty good field position, even if it is against the black.
Holding. Receiving team, number 53. 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
That's Thomas Howard. So that brings out Jason Kemp. Terrific numbers last week in their 38-31 loss at Jacksonville. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's bounced in and out of the lineup, splitting time with Bruce Gradkowski, but it looks like Campbell, according to Coach Tom Cable, has finally found a rhythm.
Yeah, and I think his team is starting to settle in around him as well. Bruce Gradkowski, Jason Campbell have been in and out of the lineup all season, but there's no doubt this is Campbell's offense now.
Campbell coming over from the Washington Redskins. The Redskins in complete disarray now. Benching Donovan McNabb, sending him to the 3rd string spot for the remainder of the season. 1st and 10 at the 29. Darren McFadden, the single setback play action with the reverse. Jacoby Ford needs one block. Watch it. He's a sprinter. Jacoby Ford. Touchdown. Raiders. 71 yards.
you see it here. As Ford turns around, you'll watch Champ Bailey trying to get away from Hayward Bay. Hayward Bay just grabs Champ Bailey. He can't run and catch up. But I'll tell you what, trying to catch Jacoby Ford in a foot race, there's only a handful of people in the NFL who could do it.
Sebastian Janikowski comes in to attempt the extra point. It's good, and the Raiders strike first and strike quickly. Rookie Jacoby Ford, who's been electric this season for this Raider football team, scores a big one once again.
Yeah, and this is a kind of a pitch. Teams will do that. They'll throw the ball up in the air and let the guy catch it as he runs by. And you see there, untouched. Samson Satele out in front, the big center. The four-year guy out of Hawaii. Right there, you see him. Great block on DJ Williams of the Broncos. Springs him. No chance. You give him that much space, a guy that fast is just not going to be anything except a touchdown.
So Jacoby Ford goes 71 yards on the Raiders' first play from scrimmage. Oakland taking a 7-0 lead. And let's take another look at the blocking on this run.
Yeah, right here you see that's Hayward Bay grabbing a hold of Champ Bailey, and there's no question that could have been called. Absolutely. Champ Bailey's looking around like, what are you looking at? With that much space, you rarely don't get that call, particularly out where the officials are standing right there as well. I think Champ Bailey's looking around wondering why that wasn't called.
Jacoby Ford, what a season. Decker picks it up on the hop at the 10-yard line. And Decker crosses the 35, gets up to the 37, a 26-yard return. And he's stopped by Hiram Eugene on special teams. So that brings out Tim Tebow once again. Steve, maybe he shook off the nerves on that first series. What an accomplished young player. We talked to him yesterday, and he's the kind of kid that you root for.
Well, and he burns hot. I mean, the guy's got a real passion to play well, and whatever it takes, he's going to be willing to do it.
Nosha Moreno running the football over the right side. And he picks up a yard on the play. Lamar Houston with the tackle. Let's take a look at Tim Tebow's rookie timeline. Drafted 25th overall by the Broncos. He played week 1 versus Jacksonville, 2 carries for 2 yards. His first rushing touchdown came versus the Jets in week 6. His first and only pass attempt prior to today came week 10 versus KC. It was complete for a 3-yard touchdown to Spencer Larson. Second down and 9 at the 30. Tebow underneath, incomplete. That ball intended for Eddie Royal. Giants taking on Michael Vick today. Here's James Brown for NFL Update in New York.
Gus and Steve, it was tied at 31 at the Meadowlands. Take a look at Deshaun Jackson on the punt with 12 seconds on the clock. Drops it, picks it up, turns on the afterburners. 65 yards later, he gets it done for the Eagles. They score. Unbelievable, 28 points in 7 minutes. Gus and Steve.
Wow, what a play by Jackson. Last week he was incredible as well. Third down and 9 to the 38. Tebow up the sideline for Gaffney, and that one goes out of bounds. He had some pressure right in his face. Michael Huff.
Yeah, they're going to get, Michael Huff's going to come right up the tube, right in Tebow's face. He does a nice job to get it off. They also send Tyvon Branch. Both safeties coming right up the pipe, and that's what you do against a young quarterback. Force him to make quick, decisive decisions and put the ball in the air where he might not want to put it.
So Colquitt will punt it away. He's at the 23. Nick Miller back deep at the 17. That one off the side of his foot. Miller catches it on the run of the 24-yard line. Goes outside and knocked out of bounds at the 34. A 37-yard punt. A 9-yard return. Wesley Woodyard with the special teams tackle. So Tim Tebow on the sideline. 2 series so far, and he's sitting there talking with his offensive coordinator, Mike McCoy.
Yeah, I think it's crucial. He said that, you know, during the week, it's the first time that they've actually asked his opinion about which plays he was comfortable with. What's he want to do? What's he feel like his strengths are, and the coaches put a game plan in for him. And you saw early the short passes to the sidelines, the quick screen pass they tried. You know, now they're getting some pressure. They're going to have to come up with something.
First down and 10 at the 34 for the Raiders. The movement on the offensive line. No flags. Well, they will blow this play dead.
Yeah, we didn't see a flag, but they blew the whistle dead. A late whistle.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, left guard, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, they called that on Robert Gallery, but I think it was also Veld here as well. Khalif Barnes, a backup offensive tackle, is in as a tight end. He was going in motion, and there was a lot of shifting around, a little confusion on the Raiders' front line.
First down and 15 at the 29. McFadden in the backfield. They give it to him straight ahead. Breaks the tackle, but goes down at the 31. A 2-yard pickup. Jason Hunter, the outside linebacker, as well as Mario Hagan in on the play. The Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, where we have the Denver Broncos and the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders scored on their first play from scrimmage, which was a 71-yard reverse. Jacoby Ford sprinting all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. Second down and 13 at the 31. Campbell over the middle. That ball deflected at the line of scrimmage and picked off. Looks like Kevin Vickerson has it. And he does. And the Broncos catch a break.
Well, that was an absolutely sensational play by Vickerson. Right here, he's going to step up, and he throws it in and snips it out of the air. What a great grab. You never see a defensive lineman attack the football like that and pluck it out of the air. Wow. What a huge play for the Broncos.
So now Tebow and the Broncos with great field position at the Oakland 26. First down. Second man through Moreno. Nothing doing as he tries to turn the corner and gets dragged down. Tyvon Branch, but there's a flag on the play. Looks like a face mask may be coming up.
Yeah, this could be on either team as well. You rarely see this on the offense, but you could have, as Scott Green getting the word from his guys, it could be on Noshawn Moreno as well. You see there, Tyvon Branch, the guy who made the tackle. And you'll watch.
Grabbing the face mask, the running back, number 27, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, Branch had Moreno's collar. Moreno had his face mask.
Horse collar is illegal as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You see here, he's got the, you can't do that, but you can't do this either. But the official is standing over in this direction. He can't see the horse collar and calls the face mask.
So instead of first and 10 at the 26, it's first and 25 at the 41. Spencer Larson Moreno line up in the offset eye. Jabbar Gaffney in motion. Tebow dumps it off. Moreno in the flats, makes a move and gets to the 40-yard line. A 1-yard gain. Quentin Groves tracks him down. So let's take a look at the standings in the AFC West.
And this is updated as of today. The Chiefs beat St. Louis. They've got the lead. All the teams, San Diego and Oakland, are trying to get in. Oakland's got to win today to keep any hope alive. Now, they play Kansas City in week 17. But San Diego's the team that really has the easy road to the final.
San Diego taking on Cincinnati next week after pummeling San Francisco on Thursday, and they will wrap up their season against these Denver Broncos. They fake the pitch. Tebow rolls in trouble, breaks a tackle, wants to run it, and Tebow taken down right at about the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of a half-yard. Matt Shaughnessy and Tommy Kelly, who's having an outstanding year, come up with the tackle.
Now this is going to go down as a sack. Tebow does a nice job of shaking off Shaughnessy, but then can't get away from Kelly, as both guys converge on him. It was going to be a little pass to the tight end coming across the formation, and the Raiders have been all over everything. They've really had a handle on the Broncos offense at this early stage.
3rd down and 24 at the 40. They need to go to the 16 for a first down. Tebow in the shotgun, and he decides to go in the quarterback draw. Tebow in running room. Tim Tebow, more money. Tim Tebow, touchdown. 40 yards for Tim Tebow. And in his first game, Tebow sprints into the end zone for a touchdown. On 3rd and 24.
Well, there's no way this is anything except a called play. He's getting the lead from Corral Buckhalter up inside. Buckhalter gets a nice block on Branch. Huff can't make the tackle at the 10. Tebow barrels his way in for a touchdown.
Tim Tebow told us yesterday, I'm a football player that happens to play the position of quarterback. I plan on winning in this league, and he's showing up early. We're tied at 7. As you take a look at the scoring summary, Tim Tebow told us yesterday, I'm excited about the challenge. I believe I can play at a high level. Hard work beats talent. Because talent doesn't work as hard, I can't wait for this opportunity. And boy, did he break out big. A 40-yard run for a touchdown to tie the game up at 7. Now Jacoby Ford back deep. He's at the 5. And Jacoby Ford knocked down at the 22-yard line, an 18-yard return. Daniel Coates with the tackle. Tim Tebow, first start against the Raiders. 40 yards. We're tied at 7. Tim Tebow with the touchdown. It was the longest TD run for a Denver quarterback in team history. 40 yards. Mario Hagan stopping Darren McFadden. The record was a 38-yard touchdown run by Bubby Brister November 16th of '98 versus Kansas City. So how about that, Steve?
That's on first game as a starter, and he's in the record books for the franchise. That says something. I tell you, he was 25th player picked in the draft, but he's got first pick of the draft leadership qualities. This is a guy a team can rally around.
2nd down and 2 at the 32-yard line. Reese and McFadden out in the offset eye. Here's a toss. Darren McFadden around the corner, down the sideline. Great stiff arm, out of bounds at the 45 as Darcel McBath knocks him out of bounds. A 13-yard gain. And for Darren McFadden, a nice run.
Yeah, Andre Goodman comes out and just doesn't make an attempt to spin out of the block to get back to hit McFadden and keep him from the long run. Ends up running out of bounds. But this guy, McFadden, has had a sensational season, really the first one in his career because he's been healthy.
First career 1,000-yard season for Darren McFadden. First down at the 43. Campbell, short drop, now long drop. Steps into his throw, Miller. Can't hold on. Zach Miller, the intended receiver. That ball thrown a little high and wide.
Yeah, he comes out of his break. This is a double move route. He's going to run the slant and then come up, straight up, and then run the out route. You see they're working against McBath, the rookie, or the second-year player who's making his first start today. McBath wondering what was going to happen on that. That's a double move route, and that ball's got to be on target.
2nd down and 10 at the 43. McFadden. Oh, he lost it. Loose ball. Picked up by the Broncos. Jason Hunter grabs it, and that's the 2nd turnover of the game for the Oakland Raiders.
I think McFadden was going to try and pitch this ball back on another reverse. Watch here. Yeah, you see there, he's trying to get it out and pitches it, and a nice heads-up play by Hunter, who knocks it away. Jacoby Ford's going to come around on another reverse. Hunter knocks the pitch out of the way, and it was open as well. If Ford gets that pitch, it's going to be a long game, but Hunter knocked it away.
First down and 10 at the 32. Larson and Moreno in the backfield. They give it to Noshawn Moreno. He needs a block. Look at Tebow blocking for him. Moreno down the sideline. He's finally driven out. Nice into play by Tyvon Branch. That's a loss of 1.
Well, Moreno makes a good effort to make something out of nothing. The Raiders are all over this, and you look at the penetration right up the middle. Richard Seymour getting right up. Tim Tebow tries to keep Tyvon Branch away from it, can't stay with it. Branch just outruns him to the edge and gets Moreno on the pursuit.
2nd down and 11 at the 33. Tebow running 40 yards for a touchdown on their last series to tie the score. Lance Ball checks in. Gaffney in motion. And a timeout call by Denver. 7:46 to play in the first quarter. 7-7. Broncos, Raiders.
See Eric Studesville,
he wants to be a survivor, he told us yesterday.
He doesn't want to get voted off. Great coach. Been around for a long time. Got a good. I was impressed with him. We sat down. He was in Buffalo for a number of years and is very well respected in that organization as well.
2nd down and 11 at the 33. Tebow, play fake. With time, throws in the end zone. And incomplete.
Tim Tebow's pass.
That ball intended for Brandon Lloyd, who's having a sensational year.
Yeah, he put it in the right spot. You see there, it doesn't quite make it through.
Wow.
Wait a minute. I don't know if that ball looks like he's caught it and is on. Well, I don't know if he's got control of it. He comes up with it. That's almost worth a challenge right there.
That's a touchdown,
That
Steve.
looks like a touchdown to me.
And there's a challenge.
Yeah,
Steve, that looks like a touchdown.
That is an amazing catch by Brandon Lloyd. I totally thought that ball bounced around and there was no way he came down with that, and Brandon Lloyd ended up with possession, and it looked like he was in bounds.
The previous play that it was an incomplete pass.
It was hard to see on the way down, but Brandon Lloyd kept his eyes on it, and we've got our first challenge of the day, and it's a big one.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. And by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
After reviewing the play, the receiver maintained possession with the ball, and he was inbounds, touchdown.
Wow.
Denver is not charged with a time.
33-yard strike. Tim Tebow to Brandon Lloyd. His second touchdown thrown this season. And now Tebow has rushed for a 40-yard touchdown, thrown a 33-yard touchdown, and this his first start, and the Broncos take a 13-7 lead.
You want to talk, and this is what happens. Now watch, Lloyd's feet don't slide out of it. His foot comes off the ground. He's got the ball on his chest, and he's down, then rolls out of bounds. And the only key component is, does he have possession and control? And he does. He rolls over, the ball never touches the ground.
Extra point good. Tim Tebow. 14-7. Welcome back. What a start for Tim Tebow in his first career NFL start. 2 plays. He throws a 33-yard touchdown to Brandon Lloyd. He's run for a 40-yard score. And the Broncos take a 14-7 lead. Jacoby Ford. And Jacoby dives across the 30 up to the 32-yard line. Now tonight, well, you thought the fantasy show was over. It's not. Play the NFL.com playoff challenge today. You could win a trip to Super Bowl 46 in Indy. Sign up for free at NFL.com/fantasy or search NFL Playoff Challenge.
Well, the key to this game so far, Gus, has been the Oakland Raiders turnovers. 14 points for the Broncos, all 2 touchdowns off of those 2 turnovers.
First down at the 31. Huge game for the Raiders. As Tom Cable told us, he would love to get in the playoffs for Mr. Davis if possible. McFadden. And And he gets to midfield. What a spin. Gain of 19. Robert Ayers makes a tackle, and what a year he's had.
And watch this as McFadden comes in, spin move, gets a nice shot in the shoulder from McBean. He just spins away from it. Ayers ends up tackling him 10 yards down the field. And this Raider team has really begun to run the football extremely well. McFadden has really come into his own. That offensive line, since Gowery's gotten back, has really come into its own.
5 carries, 35 yards for McFadden. Campbell, short drop. Now deeper drop to the sideline. On the money. Nice job. Marcel Reese, the fullback, who lined up as a wide receiver on that occasion, gained 6 yards in front of McBath.
Yeah, now it's time for the Raiders to just calm down. I mean, they had the big play to open the game, a 71-yard reverse, and Jacoby Ford got him the touchdown. Now they've got to get back into it offensively. They've turned it over twice. They still got to remember they're a good football team.
2nd down and 4 at the 44. Inside handoff, Reese. And he'll push the pile forward and get to the 40-yard line. Tom Cable, his 3rd year as a head coach in Oakland. And, you know, I think he's done a wonderful job, especially battling the Jamarcus Russell adversity. And this team is starting to really take shape, and they're very young.
Well, his personality fits this team very well. He's blue collar, very honest. He helps his team. He asks his team to jump in with him and to buy into it, and slowly but surely they have, because there's no deception in him. They know he's telling them the truth, and they'll go to the wall for him.
3rd down and 1 at the 41. Reese again, he picks up the 1st down. Marcel Reese, 2nd year out of Washington, gains 3.
And this is what the Raiders are going to do. They're going to run the football. I mean, they had the big play for the reverse, but Jason Campbell is going to throw the football to complement this run game. Darren McFadden and Reese in the backfield are going to pound this football right at the Broncos defense. They average 149 yards a game, which is 3rd in the NFL. Don't think they're going to change who they are today.
1st down and 10 at the 39. 2nd man through McFadden. And it was interesting talking to Champ Bailey yesterday about McFadden. He told us, and Champ Bailey is a first ballot Hall of Famer, he told us that McFadden is one of the hardest guys to bring down in the NFL. You don't realize how big he is.
He is big, but Champ Bailey said, you know, even though he's so tall, he gets low when you try, you know, defensive backs come in low on those big backs. And McFadden has the ability to get low and match the cornerback's level on the tackle and really punishes him.
2nd down and 9. McFadden turns it up. McFadden with room. McFadden scatting to the end zone. Down inside the 5. McFadden. Goodman with the tackle. But Run DMC gains 36.
Well, he's going to come and run and weave his way through the traffic. Gets a great block down the field by Louis Murphy. See right on front, that's Jacoby Ford, and then down at the bottom, Louis Murphy, I believe, jumps in. And what great blocking out at the edge by the receivers. Great blocking up front. Darren McFadden has such speed, and he's so big. They're not going to get a handful of jersey and bring him down.
1st down and goal at the 2. This time it's Bush. And he's a little short. That'll ring up 2nd down. Goal.
And this is, you know, this gives the Raiders a great sense of confidence. If you can run the football, it really picks up your whole team. And this is a team who gave up 14 points off 2 turnovers in the last 15 minutes we've been standing here. They've got their confidence right back, and it's because of their ability to physically manhandle the Bronco defense.
2nd and goal at the 1. 8th play of the drive that started at the Raider 31-yard line. Big Mike Bush, the single setback. He's a bruiser. Did he get in? Yes. Michael Bush on 2nd down and goal scores a touchdown.
Nothing fancy, straight ahead blocking. Bush runs out to the sideline, so he keeps his eyes forward and then picks the weak spot of the defense. The Broncos get some penetration. They start to string it out, but the further you string it out, the thinner you become in personnel, and it's just easier for the back to punch a hole in your defense.
Sixth rushing touchdown of the season for Bush, and we are all tied up at 14 in Oakland. 3:20 to go, first quarter, 8-play drive, 69 yards. The Raiders pounded it at them. A look at the Raiders scoring summary, 8 plays, 69 yards. Bush with the 1-yard touchdown run. Eric Decker from the 6. And he gets to the 30-yard line, a 24-yard return. Stevie Brown with the tackle on special teams. Tim Tebow has thrown for a touchdown, has run for a touchdown. Denver capitalizing on 2 Oakland turnovers. Tim Tebow, the first player in NCAA history to pass and rush for at least 20 touchdowns in a season. He's the first ever sophomore winner of the Heisman Trophy at Florida. First down and 10 at the 30. Larson and Ball in the backfield. Here's Ball, taking his time, following his block. Nice tackle by Huff as he lost his hat, but it's a gain of 7.
Nice run off tackle. You'll see you're going to get the lead block coming right across. That's Larson, and he's going to try and get a hat on Huff. Runs right by him, and Huff gets a big hit on Lance Ball after a gain of 7.
Mike Huff as tough as they come. 5th year out of Texas, 2nd and 2. At the 38. Here's Tebow running. Quarterback keeper picks up the first down the sideline and some. And they say he stepped out of bounds at about the 47.5-yard line, but Tim Tebow showing the abilities that he showed in Florida, able to run the ball outside.
Absolutely, and this is something I don't think defenses are quite ready for. I mean, you come in there, you see, no question, he stepped out of bounds, kind of obscured over there by the drying agent that the Broncos asked for. But Tim Tebow is no question that the rushing game at the quarterback position is going to be a factor today, and the Raiders have got to adjust to it.
First down and 10 at the 47. Tebow pitches it. Ball breaks a tackle. Still running, and he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. So for Tim Tebow, let's take a look at what he's done so far.
Yeah, the quarterback draw for the 40-yard touchdown, a stiff arm to get in. The guy's emotional. This team is going to rally around him. You see there the catch that was reviewed, ended up being a touchdown, and there's the reaction. He's a competitor, there's no question. That's the one thing you see when you talk to him, you sit down with him. This guy will do anything to win a football game.
Second down and 11. Tebow drops it off. Buckhalter with the catch, gets down the sideline, cuts it inside. Buckhalter, terrific run after the catch. He gets to the 30. He gains 17 on 2nd and 11. And the chains keep moving for the Broncos. Branch with the tackle.
Yeah, the Raiders want to hold after the screen pass comes out. You see right there, they wanted a hold. They didn't get it. Great play, and you knew that you're going to see something like that because the Raiders are really penetrating into the Broncos side of the line of scrimmage. You see out ahead of Buckhalter, the hold that might have been called but was not.
First down and 10 at the 31. Tebow hands it off the Ball. He gets outside and runs to the 24-yard line before being brought down. Nnamdi Asomugha and Stanford Routt with the tackle. That's a gain of 6.
Yeah, the Raiders are really pursuing hard to the football, and it was only a question of time till the Broncos started to run some things to take advantage of it. Some draws, some screens, and some quick passes. The Raiders are penetrating so hard in their front 7 against the run. They're really making it difficult on the offensive line of the Broncos.
Second down and 3 of the 24. They hand it off again, Ball, and no gain on the play. And that'll take us to the end of the quarter. And what a quarter it was. Tim Tebow, a touchdown rushing and passing. 14-14 Broncos Raiders. Welcome back. Denver faced with a 3rd and 3 at the 24. Tebow in the shotgun. And a false start will be called against the Broncos.
False start. Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Yeah, we talked to Tim Tebow yesterday, and he said that he does his best to imitate Kyle Orton's verbiage behind the line of scrimmage. And in that case, Chris Cooper was listening to Tebow. And it's interesting that Tebow, one of the hard things to do is to make sure that you get used to a different quarterback's voice back there. It sounds easy, but it's really not when the crowd noise gets going.
So instead of 3rd and 3, it's 3rd and 8 at the 29. You know Tebow can run it, and he will run it. Looking. Tebow looking for some space, and he won't get it this time. Raiders were ready. A 2-yard gain, Rolando McClain. And they faced each other before. He's a rookie out of Alabama with the tackle.
This is a called play, obviously, and he slips on the muddy field. But this is a conservative play call to make sure they stay in field goal range. They didn't want Tebow to throw it up and have something bad happen. They just wanted to make sure they could get a chance to try for the 3 points and get a lead.
So Steve Hauschka comes in to attempt the 46-yard field goal. Some slippery footing where the ball is being placed right now. Gets it away. And it is good. 46 yards. And Denver takes a 17-14 lead over the Raiders here in the 2nd quarter. Welcome back, 17-14, as the Broncos lead the Raiders. Hauschka with the 46-yarder to give Denver the lead. Denver, Steve, struggled last week against Arizona. They lost the game 43-13, so after 1 quarter they have more points than they had all of last week against the Cardinals.
Yeah, turnovers will do it. I mean, and Arizona is not a good football team.
Different story, though.
I'm sorry, gut. You see there, the footing is not bad. This is a natural grass field, and of course the field is 6 feet below sea level, and the sea is not very far away. So it's pretty wet down there. It's been raining all morning.
Here's the kick, back deep, Jacoby Ford. And he'll get a shot at it, bringing it out of the end zone. And Ford dropped at the 18-yard line. An 18-yard return, and the tackle made by Britt Davis. CBSSports.com is streamlining its award-winning fantasy games to create an even better fantasy experience. Visit CBSSports.com/sneak preview to sign up for an alert when fantasy games launch. Raiders have done a sensational job running the football. They have 150 yards rushing in the 1st quarter, most in any quarter by a Raider team since 1991. 1st down and 10. Campbell with time, looking, decides to run it himself. A lot of room for Campbell as he walks out of bounds at the 44. Nicely done by Jason Campbell, a 25-yard scramble.
It's an outstanding play. It was kind of mucked up at the beginning because, as you'll see, Michael Bush goes the wrong way. They have a really bad play fake, but it doesn't matter because Jason Campbell looks down the field. They only sent 2 guys out on the route. Plenty of time in the man coverage. Jason Campbell just tucks it and goes up the field and alertly just steps out of bounds.
1st down at the 43. Here's a handoff, and it's Bush. And Michael Bush gang tackled McBath, who's starting today for veteran Brian Dawkins, who's out with a knee injury, comes up and makes the tackle. Dawkins hurt in the St. Louis game. This is his 3rd consecutive game in which he hasn't played.
Yeah, McBath comes up now. He's played before, but he's never started. The 2nd-year guy. 2nd-round draft pick last year, played in all the games, but this is the first time when he's actually been number 1.
2nd and 10 at the 43. Play fake. Campbell steps up, looking over the middle, and it is caught. Terrific looking reception by Louis Murphy. That's a gain of 14.
That certainly was a great catch and a great throw by Jason Campbell, and this is why their offense has started to look much better. Jason Campbell steps up in the pocket, waits, and then delivers a strike. Couldn't have been put anywhere else, and the reception still being made. Jason Campbell did an outstanding job waiting on that route to get open.
40 catches on the season for Murphy. He's averaging over 11 yards per catch. First down at the 43. The pitch. Bush turns it up, lowers his shoulder, goes down at the 41. Nice looking tackle there made by former San Diego Charger Jamal Williams, three-time Pro Bowler. Gain of 2.
And you'll watch right up front. Offensive line all moves out hard to their right. Gets the nice cut black on Vickerson on the backside. That's Khalif Barnes, who has been playing tackle and tight end as well. Moving him around, he'll even go in motion. So the Raiders using their offensive line to their greatest advantage.
Second down and 8 at the 41. Bush remains in the game. Campbell rolling out of the pocket. Dumps it to his tight end, Zach Miller. Flag on the play. Looks like a late hit coming up against the Broncos. Jason Hunter.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, blow to the head. Number 52 defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, I don't know how hard he hit Jason Campbell, but it wasn't very hard. We'll see. Oh, yeah, you can't do it. It's that,
Steve,
that's,
come on.
You talk about
that's touch football. That's touch football.
You talk about over officiating. They really put the officials in a bad spot. If you go to the head, even if it's just a brush, I mean, that's a tap. I mean, guys do that in practice against your own team. That's the day and age we live in.
First down and 10 of the 26. Reese McFadden back in. They pitch it to McFadden with a combo in front of him. But he's dragged down. Nicely done by Jason Hunter. But Jason Hunter still upset about that last call, as well he should be.
Yeah, you got to set it aside, though, and put it behind you. Learn from it and know that he could have hit Jason Campbell like he did if he'd have just done it on his shoulders or his chest. There was nothing wrong with the extra little tap. But any time you even touch the plastic on that helmet or the face mask, they're going to call it. And it's unfortunate for him.
Second down and 6 at the 22. McFadden in motion out of the backfield. Campbell all by himself. He finds McFadden on a screen. And McFadden gets close to the 15-yard line. Flag thrown on the play.
Yeah, this is going to be on Jared Veldier.
Holding. Offense. Number 68. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Veldier starting at left tackle for Mario Henderson. He beat him out. And he gets called for the hold, the rookie out of Hillsdale College.
Yeah, right there. He's going to come out on the screen pass, and he's going to hook up with Robert Ayers and just spin him around. Doesn't let go in time.
Makes it second down at 14 at the 30. Some shifting on the field now for Oakland. Campbell, straight drop, in trouble, steps up. Miller with the grab, gets up, touchdown. But there is a flag on the play. And Denver saying it's against the Raiders.
I think the Raiders got lined up. Once they finally got lined up, they were lined up illegally.
Illegal formation offense. Did not have 7 men on the line. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And that's a lucky break for the Broncos because it's a ticky-tack penalty. Watch up here. There's 2 receivers, I guess, and they're off the line of scrimmage. The receiver's off the line of scrimmage. He's supposed to be. This is the tight end here. He's supposed to be on the line of scrimmage. I don't see what's wrong with that formation at all. I got to be honest with you, Gus. That looks like a good formation to me.
Backs the Raiders up. Tom Cable looking on as well. Second down and 19. At the 35.
Yeah, it's unchallengeable as well. He can't challenge that.
Campbell lets it go. Picked off. Hill cuts it inside. Still running. And Ronaldo Hill, the 10th-year player out of Michigan State, returns it 37 yards, and the Broncos are in business again.
There's a player down on the far side and one of the officials as well. You can see there, that's Langston Walker's on the ground, and he's not moving. And one of the officials as well got up limping. You see there, that's Larry Rose, the side judge. We'll see what kind of condition he's in, as well as Langston Walker.
9:36 to go, second quarter, 17-14. Back after this. And welcome back to Oakland, where Langston Walker has finally been helped up.
Yeah, and as you'll see on the replay, he got hit, blocked by Vickerson. And it's not so much the hit, I think, that caused him to stay down. I think it was his landing on the back, on his head. Watch right here. He gets hit, and that's a good hit. But when he goes down, the back of his head hits the ground really hard.
What a game for Vickerson already. Interception, terrific block there. Oakland turning the ball over, 3 turnovers already, 2 interceptions for Jason Campbell. And that gives Tim Tebow and the Denver Broncos great field position, smack dab in the middle of the 50-yard line. First down. Larson and Ball in the offset eye. Here's Ball with the running room. And he'll pick up a few. Tommy Kelly with the tackle as Langston Walker, 9th year out of Cal.
Yeah, it's
hard sometimes when those big 360-pound, 6'8" guys fall.
Yeah, he falls a long way.
Yes, he does. Let's hope that he's okay. We'll update you on his status as soon as we know something. Second down and 7 at the 47. Larson, Ball in the offset eye. Here's Ball again. Not a lot of room. Raiders doing a nice job against the run. Only a 1-yard gain. Matt Shaughnessy with the tackle.
Yeah, and here comes a 3rd and about 6, and the Broncos run in a 3rd different personnel combination in these 3 downs. They were heavy on the first down. They went 2 wides and 2 backs on second down, and now they go 3 wides and 2 backs on third down. So it's a lot of different personnel combinations they're throwing at the Raider defense in an attempt to confuse them.
3rd down and 6 at the 46. And Denver calls another timeout. Broncos have 1 timeout remaining in the first half. Back after this. Side judge Larry Rose looks like he's okay.
Giving the thumbs up there.
That's right. 3rd down 6 at the 46 for Tim Tebow and the Broncos. Raiders showing blitz. Here's Tebow looking. Throws it down the field. Incomplete. Intended for Eddie Royal. Stanford route covering.
Well, Tebow threw this up a little bit for grabs, but he gives him a chance to try and get it and pull it in. And it looks like for a minute he's going to get the tip right there, but it falls down between his legs. Look at that leaping ability. That's great ball skills by Royal. He thought he was going to come down with it for a moment.
Broncos will punt it away. Colquitt stands at the 40. This is his 3rd punt of the game. Nick Miller back deep. Beautiful spiraling punt heading into the end zone for touchback. 46-yard punt, 26-yard net. Well, Jason Campbell comes back on the field. Tough start, 2 picks already. And welcome back to Oakland, California. Gus Johnson, Steve Tasker with you. Raiders and the Broncos. Great rivalry in the AFC West. Raiders take it over at their own 20, 1st down and 10. Here's the handoff, McFadden. And McFadden back to the line of scrimmage. Marcus Thomas leading the way. Turnovers have been the problem for this Oakland team. 3 in the first half.
Yeah, Kevin Vickerson gets this outstanding interception from his defensive tackle position. Then Jason Hunter intercepts and knocks away the pitch from McFadden, and then Jason Campbell under duress throws the ball up for grabs. Ronaldo Hill comes down for it. That's been the difference for the Raiders.
14 points off 3 takeaways. 2nd and 9 to the 21. Campbell on the play fake to the sideline. Nice throw and catch. Beautifully done. Hayward Bay with a 20-yard reception with a former first-round draft pick out of Maryland.
Yeah, and you think about these Raider receivers, they're a bunch of young guys. Hayward Bay 2 years, Lewis Murphy 2 years, Jacoby Ford is a rookie. But Hayward Bay is a guy who has gotten a little better and a little better with each passing week throughout his first year and now into his 2nd year. Jason Campbell makes the good throw, and they've made a couple of nice catches for him today.
First down and 10 at the 41. Campbell again goes for the home run for Ford. Incomplete. Ford broke it inside, Steve, and the ball was thrown toward the sideline. Andre Goodman, 9-year veteran, covering.
Yeah, the ball's got to get in the air so early. Jacoby Ford, he can run. I mean, let's just say it flat out. He's a national champion at 60 meters. So Jason Campbell has to throw this ball really early, and that just raises the margin of error. That just narrows it too close. He goes inside. Jason Campbell has already thrown it outside.
McFadden. And McFadden ambushed in the backfield. What a wonderful job. Robert Ayers fought through the block and came up with the tackle. It's a loss of 4.
Yeah, he's having some trouble getting up now, but watch right up top working against Veldier. Yeah, just actually against Zach Miller, the tight end. Ayers makes the tackle, but he gets slammed onto his back by Miller, and he's having some trouble continuing. You think about how long a season it is. It's almost the percentages of likelihood that an NFL player will be injured during the season is 100%. 100% of the players that play in the National Football League are injured during the season. But most of them kind of shrug it off and keep going. You know, we saw Nnamdi Asomugha.
What do you guys say about the difference between what, pain and...
Yeah, there's a difference between being hurt and injured.
Exactly. What's the difference?
Well, sometimes nothing.
3rd down and 14 at the 37. They need to go to the Denver 49 for a first down. Jason Campbell in the shotgun. Campbell underneath, drops it off McFadden. And McFadden stood up, taking down Mario Hagan with the tackle, a 9-yard gain, so not enough for first down. And the Raiders will have to punt it away with 6:06 to play in the 2nd quarter.
You know, it's become obvious, particularly for the Raider defense and also the Denver defense. They've both these teams have been stung so badly by big plays against them. They're really giving up every little play underneath on all these offensive series. And they're not giving up any big plays because they've been hurt so badly and learned their lessons the hard way.
Shane Leckler, 201 yards, away from 40,000 yards punting. Saquon Thompson stays on his feet somehow. Thompson with a block. Flags on the play. And he gets all the way up to the 40. Collision after collision on that return. A 37-yard punt, 24-yard return. Brandon Myers with the tackle on special teams for Oakland.
Illegal block in the back, number 58, receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That was Kevin Alexander for the Broncos. Right there, right behind the returner. It wasn't Alexander, it was actually Wesley Woodyard. But this punt play, I mean, we're watching it from up here. You see it's like a street fight carried on a dead run. All 22 guys on both teams are in the midst of a battle, and it finally ends up back inside the 20-yard line for the Broncos.
5:27 to go in the second quarter. The rain coming down now. First down and 10. Tim Tebow throws up top, and it's caught. Brandon Lloyd. And he gets the ball all the way up to the 37, a 22-yard gain. Chris Johnson with the tackle.
You can see the rain just opened up right before this play, and it's a nice, perfect underthrow to the back shoulder. Great catch by Lloyd, and I'll tell you.
Is that intentional, Steve?
Yeah, it was. It was a great throw. Put a little air under it, put it right on his back shoulder, and he had to come back underneath to get it. It was a deliberate underthrow.
Lloyd, 2 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. Now Lance Ball runs the football. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, Coach Collins for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. A lot of people underestimated Tim Tebow coming out of college, despite all of his accomplishments, winning the Heisman Trophy, 2 national championships. And ever since he was a freshman in high school, they've been telling him that he can't play quarterback at any level. High school, college, and even the pros. Second down and 11 to the 36. He decides to run it. And Tebow, nowhere to go, dives forward. Maybe 2 yards on the play.
There's not too many quarterbacks, whether he can play or not, there's not too many quarterbacks that you would ask to run this play. A little wildcat option read. And the one thing that's different here is when Tim Tebow tucks it and starts to run, there's probably about 10 guys on the other side of the field that can outrun it. It wasn't always that way at other levels.
Kind of reminds you of a young Steve Young. Remember when Steve Young came out of BYU and he went to Tampa? He was running the football a lot. Finally ended up in San Francisco where he had an opportunity to be coached by Mike Holmgren and Mike Shanahan and obviously Coach Bill Walsh.
Yeah,
time out on the field.
And the thing, Steve Young became a Super Bowl quarterback after he learned to stand in the pocket. And I think Tim Tebow will even tell you there are a lot of things he learned. We asked him what he needs. When he looks in the mirror, he says, it's the little things that I need to do right now to get better.
It's third down and 9 to the 38. Tebow in the shotgun. Buckhalter lines up as a wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. Tebow wants to run it, and does. And Tim Tebow crosses the 40, gets up to the 44, a 5-yard gain. Some pushing and shoving going on. Rolando McClain and Matt Shaughnessy with the tackle.
Well, you knew it was going to happen. When Tim Tebow goes down, he's such a competitor, and he told us yesterday, he goes, I'll do anything to win a game, including fist fight. And when you put your quarterback with the ball in his hands on a run up the middle, and somebody takes an extra shot, his teammates are going to come around and rally to him. It'll turn into a hockey game. Let me tell you, the Denver Broncos are going to rally around Tim Tebow. And if guys take extra shots at him, they're going to get it back. You see what happens? They start getting guys off their quarterback, and it starts to get chippy.
Remember, this is the Raiders and the Broncos. No love lost between these two squads. Tim Tebow in his first career start has put on a show in the first half as he talks to Kyle Orton. Orton tried to practice earlier during the week. He was having some rib problems, so he couldn't really rotate and throw. And Tebow found out that it would be his opportunity today. Colquitt at the 28, fourth punt of the game. Nick Miller back deep. It's pouring now. Miller backing up, and he is rocked at the 5-yard line. A 48-yard punt, no return. Nate Jones with the tackle on special teams. And look at Tim Tebow. He's getting his squad fired up.
And I'll tell you, great play there. You can see it's just absolutely pouring on the field right now. But when you see Tim Tebow cheering his team on after a special teams play, don't think that emotional stuff doesn't play at this level. It does. Players like it, particularly when it comes from a guy who takes snaps.
Exactly what he did at Florida. First down and 10 at the 8. Here's a handoff. McFadden And it's surprising. When the offense is playing well, Denver defense is starting to come up with more stops.
Yeah, and that's enormous for them. They've gotten 3 turnovers today, and they've done it really. They were in great place. Vickerson's pick was outstanding, and then Hill's pick came as a result, I think, of pressure up front. And I think even we talked to Champ Bailey, the great cornerback, he said we'll get better in the secondary when we get better pressure up front, and that's happened today. 2nd down and 9 at the 9.
Campbell, play fake, sideline, forward, incomplete. That one thrown high in front of Andre Goodman.
Yeah, the timing was all messed up. Jacoby Ford couldn't get out of his break quick enough. He came out. You'll see when they come out, they're just not sure of her footing. It takes him a little while. You see how it takes him 5 or 6 steps to get stopped. You can't stop hard on a wet track, but neither can the defender. If the quarterback's got time to wait, he's going to have to wait a little longer in the passing game to make sure his receivers can get out of their breaks.
3rd down and 9 at the 9. For Campbell in the shotgun, trying to set up a screen. He has McFadden, and McFadden dropped. Terrific job by DJ Williams, a 7-yard gain on 3rd and 9. And Denver forcing the Raiders to punt it away.
And if DJ Williams doesn't make this tackle, which is a good one, McFadden is still running. He had some space right behind Williams, who's done real well. Sebastian Janikowski
in the punt for the first time in his career. Shane Leckler on the sideline. Sidquan Thompson back deep. Janikowski, not a bad job. End over end. Loose, and recovered by the Raiders. Hiram Eugene. Johnny on the spot.
Well, when the weather goes nasty, it's always the kicking game where it shows up first. Janikowski does a nice job getting it off. It's a low-line drive knuckleball, and those are hard to handle regularly, let alone when it's blowing around and windy and it's slippery. And that's just a fortuitous bounce for the Raiders and a bad one for the Broncos.
First mistake by the Broncos this afternoon. Raiders have it at their own 46. Zach Miller in motion. Campbell scrambling. Turns it up with room. He can run a little bit. Campbell out of bounds as he turned on the Jets. Picked up 20. DJ Williams chasing.
They had man coverage in the secondary. Everybody backs out of there. Campbell, when he breaks contain, nobody's looking at him in the secondary. They're looking at the receivers. That's why there's nobody to come up and make the tackle short. The Broncos are left to pursue him.
And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Denver 17, Oakland 14. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Z for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Steve, look at the field.
There's been steady rains all day and really all weekend.
First down for the Raiders at the Denver 34. Trailing by 3. Here comes a blitz. Campbell sets up over the middle. Incomplete. Campbell hit as he released that football. Zach Miller, the intended receiver.
Campbell stands in there strong in the pocket, but they bring extra people. Campbell just misses on the throw to Miller. This had a chance to be much like the touchdown that was called back. But that's the reason this offense has been playing better. Campbell has the ability to keep his eyes off the rush and down the field and stands in there against the pressure.
Second down and 10 at the 34. Stop raining. McFadden. And Darren McFadden will pick up about 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, in conditions like this, you can't let the weather dictate what you do offensively. You have to play your game and let the players adjust to the plays that are called.
Raiders really running the football. in the first half, over 200 yards rushing. Remember, Jacoby Ford had a 71-yard reverse for a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage for Oakland. 3rd and 7 at the 31. They need to go to the 24 for a first down. Campbell steps up, in trouble, incomplete. Darius Haywood-Bay, the intended receiver. And now they're going to bring out Janikowski to attempt a field goal.
Bailey working against Haywood-Bay. And you see when they chop their feet so much, it takes them a long time to get stopped, and that's no confidence in the footing.
Sebastian Janikowski, 25-32 with a 54 long this season. In to attempt a 49-yarder. Shane Leckler is holding. And Janikowski, perfect. Wow, 1:03 to go in the first half. We're tied at 17 in Oaktown. And tonight on 60 Minutes, discovery about memory. People who have a remarkable ability to remember every day of their lives. What could it mean for the rest of us? Find out tonight on 60 Minutes, only CBS. Sebastian Janikowski, the Raiders' all-time leading scorer with 1,108 career points, sends it away. Decker picks it up the right sideline, and out of bounds at about the 30 with 58 seconds to go. Sam Williams knocks him out of bounds, and Tim Tebow comes on. He has one timeout remaining. Sensational first half for Tebow, and both quarterbacks have been able to run the ball today.
Yeah, this has been out of passing formations, and these have been mostly called runs for Tebow, but Jason Campbell doing some good things with his legs as well, really extending plays and giving them a chance to complete some passes as well.
First down at the 29. Roshan Moreno has a side injury. His return is questionable. As Buckhalter, the former Eagle, picks up 6. Michael Huff with the tackle. Buckhalter, 39 carries, 94 yards, averaging 2.4 yards per carry coming into this game.
Right now, the Broncos are letting the clock run. They're going to just be conservative. If they can snap off a big run to get into field goal range, they'll take it, but they're not going to try and throw this football around at all with less than 30 seconds to go in the half.
Second down and 4 at the 35. Buckhalter again, flag on the play as he gets to the 40, picks up a first down.
Illegal motion, number 46 offense, 5-yard penalty.
That's Spencer Larson, the fullback. And you know,
and that's
Coach Studesville is a former running backs coach, and that's what makes it interesting. Neither one of the coordinators were given the interim head coaching job in Denver. There's something that you see when in this man's eyes. There's this enthusiasm, a youth.
Yeah, he wants to be a head coach. There's no question about it. He is grooming himself and has acquitted himself in such a way as to put himself in the conversation for a lot of head coaching jobs.
Second down and 9 at the 30. And that should take us to the end of the first half. And what a half it was for Tim Tebow. A 40-yard run for a touchdown. A 33-yard touchdown thrown to Brandon Lloyd. And we're tied at 17 after one half. Tebow putting up some solid numbers. 4 of 8, 73 yards passing, 5 carries, 63 yards, rushing, a touchdown, rushing and passing for Tebow in that first half. Hauschka will send it away. Jacoby Ford at the 5. And Ford will start from the 4. Jacoby Ford crosses 25. A 23-yard return. Knocked out of bounds by Nate Jones. Let's take a look at the halftime stats. Broncos and Raiders.
Yeah, this is a big number for the Raiders. That's going to have something to say about when it's all over. Then the points off turnovers is what kept the Broncos in this one, these turnovers. But it's a back and forth game. The Broncos made some plays, and I think their defense has been particularly better than I think the Raiders anticipated coming into this.
First down and 10 at the 27. Campbell rolling out of the pocket, dumps it off, and incomplete. Ball intended for Marcel Reese, the fullback, out of the backfield. And he gets knocked down by DJ Williams.
You get a chance to see what the Raiders saw of the Denver defense and come up at halftime, make some adjustments, and give Jason Campbell a few things to think about in this first series and in the second half, how to take advantage of what the Broncos' plan is. And obviously a bootleg out to the left, away from Campbell's strong throwing arm, was the first thing they tried.
Makes a second down and 10 at the 27. Campbell. Zach Miller, the tight end, breaks a tackle down the sideline, and Miller rumbles his way to the 45, a 27-yard reception. Ronaldo Hill there to tackle him.
Well, big plays are all about the ability to get loose, and a lot of times a missed tackle turns into a big play. Right there, you see it. Up the sidelines goes Miller, and if you can break a tackle, as he does right here, working against McBath, just gets up the sidelines, that's all it takes. That would have been brought up a third down. Instead, it turned into a big first down.
2 catches, 27 yards for Miller, first down. Here's the reverse, Jacoby Ford. This time the Broncos are waiting for it. And they push him out of bounds, a flag on the play. Ronaldo Hill there to usher him out of bounds.
This is going to be a hold against the Raiders as Jacoby Ford came around after the pitch.
Holding. Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Zach Miller.
Well, he answers the big play for the first down with a holding penalty on the next play. Right here, he's leading Jacoby Ford, and he latches on. Right there, as you see, he latches on to Hunter. Won't let him loose.
First and 20.
Don't start with me. You're clean all the way down. Don't start with me.
Campbell handing it off, and Michael Bush will go nowhere. Getting really rough down there, Steve.
Yeah, these are two teams that don't like each other. It's just that simple. Plus, you got to remember the Raiders really embarrassed the Broncos about a month ago. Set a franchise record for points scored in the game. And, you know, that doesn't go away. You don't forget that. There's the numbers. I mean, that's the game. The last time these two teams met, the Raiders piled it on, no question. I mean, and the Raiders, you know, they were trying to find themselves, so when they got it going good, why let up?
Second down and 19. Campbell, deep drop, looking, flag on the play, over the middle, Zach Miller. But this may be coming back as he gets to the 40. Looks like a holding penalty will be called against the Raiders.
Well, Jamal Williams.
Illegal hands to the face, number 68. Offense, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Well, I don't think it was 68. I think it was 69. Maybe it is right here. But Jamal Williams pushed Samson Satele right back into Jason Campbell's lap. But Veldheer's the one that got the penalty.
So that makes a second down and 29 at the 35. Bush, and he's driven down once again. Jamal Williams, only a 2-yard gain. Raider fans not happy. Some rumblings cascading here in the stadium with the conservative play call.
Jamal Williams is a 3-time Pro Bowler, 13-year player, came over from San Diego in a free agent deal, and he's just so difficult to move off the line of scrimmage. It's like that old thing. You're trying to push a fire hydrant and it just won't move.
Third down, 27 at the 37. Here comes a blitz, flag on the play. Underneath, Jacoby Ford in space. And he goes down at midfield.
Jacoby Ford.
13-yard gain. Champ Bailey, Ronaldo Hill combining on the tackle.
Yeah, this will be against the Broncos, as they had a man in the neutral zone before the snap.
Offside. Defense. Number 56. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So it'll be a 3rd and 20 instead of a 3rd and 25. And you can't miss it right down in here. You see, they snap the ball when he's in the neutral zone. You know, it's just as important as a series for the Denver defense. They had a chance to look at Oakland's offense and make some adjustments. No question, it was all the adjustments that Denver made were probably in the run game.
That time the Broncos got back. 3rd and 22. Campbell all day to throw the ball. Dancing around. Finally finds Jacoby Ford. And he goes out of bounds at midfield. It's a 7-yard gain. Very good coverage by the Denver secondary.
Yeah, there was no place for Campbell to find down the football field to get the 1st down. You see Jacoby Ford comes open way underneath, and there at the top with Champ Bailey.
Shane Leckler back on the field. He missed his last opportunity as Sebastian Janikowski came in and punted for the first time in his career. Saquon Thompson back deep. Flag on the play. Looks like this will go against Denver, a 44-yard punt.
Great punt by Leckler. Yeah, Leckler was injured in the first half. Janikowski actually had to punt once, and now he's back in there.
Holding.
He doesn't look 100%.
Receiving team during the kick. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down. So number 33.
So the Broncos will huddle up in their own end zone. Game tied at 17. Back after this. Under 11 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Tim Tebow and the Bronco offense will start from their own 3-yard line. Here's the handoff. Oh, ball tripped up. Quentin Groves, the outside linebacker, making a nice play. And that is a loss of 2.
And this is what the Raiders have done to the Broncos all day. They just get into the backfield to try and gum up all the action, and that's the one thing that has hurt the Broncos, the penetration by the Raider defense, not only in the run game, but also in the pass defense as well.
2nd down and 12. Now at the 1-yard line. Larson will make that Lance Ball, and he picks up 4 yards on the play.
It gives him a little room, but this is just a misdirection. Look at Tebow. He almost gets tackled by Richard Seymour, who comes in untouched into the backfield, and that's a missed assignment up front by the Bronco offensive line.
3rd down and 8 at the 5-yard line. Raiders may bring everybody here. Tebow hands it off. Buckhalter spinning. No gain. Rolando McClain, the middle linebacker, with another tackle. He's been all over the field.
Yeah, he hasn't watched Tommy Kelly come right there. He's going to pop right in, and it's a Correll Buckhalter has to pull the stop spin move just to keep from being tackled right inside. J.D. Walton can't get out to get Tommy Kelly. It almost turns into a disaster.
So Britton Colquitt will punt from the back of his own end zone. His 5th punt. Nick Miller is hovering around midfield. Miller backpedaling at the 39. Down the sideline. And he's dragged down at the 40. A flag on the play. A 56-yard punt, a 22-yard return. Richard Quinn looks like he may have grabbed the face mask.
Yeah, or the horse collar. No question. There's a lot of flags that came into that and made that call. You can see it up here. And that's going to make this into a very good return and puts them in field goal
foul.
range.
Grabbing the face mask. Number 81. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
And they're in field goal range right now.
So they'll have the ball right around the 25.
Now you can't miss it. I mean, that's one that where I think there's no question. Quinn felt like if he didn't make that tackle, it was going to turn into a touchdown. He thought Nick Miller was going to turn it into a touchdown, so he pulled the face mask and didn't let go just to make sure.
First down and 10 for the Raiders at the Denver 24-yard line. Schillen's in motion. Campbell throws it on the wheel. Reese can't hold on. Good defense by DJ Williams.
Number 45.
The linebacker covering the fullback.
That was well defended. Reese comes out, runs to the sideline, then turns it up the field, and Campbell tries to lay it out there for him. He has a shot at it, but just can't pull it in.
Second down and 10 to the 24. McFadden straight ahead. And McFadden gets inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. A 6-yard gain.
And this is an interesting spot as the Raiders have got a veteran quarterback in Jason Campbell. When you've got a 3rd and short down inside the red zone, as we have a player down, you're not so averse to maybe dropping back and letting him take a shot to get the first down through the air. The Broncos have shown an unwillingness to do that with a rookie quarterback, Tebow. They're going to hand it off and try and run for the first down. The Raiders, they can open up their playbook and they'll have more of a selection or a longer menu of plays to choose from to try and get this first.
8:33 to go in the third. Denver and Oakland tied at 17. Back after this. Welcome back. Hagan on the sideline now. He's had a terrific year. As you mentioned at the top of our broadcast, finally getting an opportunity to be a starter in Denver. 5 sacks. 3rd down and 4 at the 18 for Jason Campbell. He's run the ball well today. Campbell looking. And he is hit as he threw the football. A flag on the play. Campbell is down.
Yeah, and this might be roughing the
Personal
passer.
foul. Roughing the passer, number 79. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Well, as you can tell,
Marcus Thomas.
Campbell took a shot as he stepped up, and this ball went haywire because he got hit as he threw.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know, it seemed as though it was Jason Hunter, not 79. Jason Hunter came from the front side, and Campbell's got to come out. Of course, brings up a 4th down anyway.
So Kyle Bowler, who had an opportunity to play last week against Jacksonville, similar situation when Campbell went out of the game.
For intentional grounding on the quarterback. The play's offset. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, and they replay 3rd down, so Bowler's going to have to take a snap here, and now we're back to the same thing. Bowler, I don't know that you let him drop back like you let Jason Campbell drop back. Look for this to be a run play all the way.
Jason Campbell suffered a stinger in the 4th quarter last week against Jacksonville. Another helmet-to-helmet hit with Will Middleton. Bowler came in. So now on 3rd down and 4 at the 18-yard line. Kyle Bowler is in at quarterback. Hands it off. McFadden, and he will not get the first down. No gain on the play.
Darren McFadden.
DJ Williams first man to him, so Tom Cable and the Raiders will settle for a field goal attempt, looking to take the lead.
Yeah, it's a nice conservative play call when your starting quarterback has to leave for a play. Don't ask Kyle Bowler to come in and win the game for you. They spread out the Denver defense and then tried to poke a hole in it with a draw play and let McFadden pick his spot. It just didn't work.
Janikowski good from 49 already. This would from 35 yards away. And he nails it. Raiders take the lead, 20-17. 7:27 to go in the third. Welcome back. Sebastian Janikowski slipping as he kicks the football away. Picked up by Decker. And Decker crosses the 35 up to the 37-yard line. A 22-yard return, more pushing and shoving on the field.
We also have an injury update. Richard Seymour has left the game, will not return. He has a hamstring injury. And also for the Denver Broncos, Sean Moreno is out of the game. He's got the shortest approach of anybody in the NFL, and you see here his foot just won't hold.
So Tebow and the Broncos at their own 36. Tebow to throw up the sideline. Incomplete and a flag. Intended for Lloyd. Stanford route will be called for interference.
Yeah, he wasn't allowing Lloyd to get back for the football. Face guarded him and kept him away without playing the football.
Interference. Defense, number 26. Ball will be placed, spot of the foul. First down.
You'll see him press coverage. He keeps his eyes right on him, then puts his hands on him. And you see there, now I don't know if that ball was catchable or not, but you got to let the receiver make a play on it, and he wouldn't.
7 penalties against the Raiders for 74 yards. So now Denver with it at the 40. Ball around the corner, no. Big game for the Jets and a big game for the Steelers today. Here's James Brown in New York with an update.
Hey, Gus and Steve, it took 12 quarters, but it finally happened for the Jets. Their first offensive touchdown. Mark Sanchez on a keeper. He takes it 7 yards to pay dirt, and it's all even in Pittsburgh. That in the fourth at 17. Gus Johnson, Steve Tasker.
Let's take a look at the AFC East standings. Jets 9-4. Trying to hold on to a wild card spot. Second down and 11 at the 41. Play fake, Tebow. Beautiful throw and great catch again by Lloyd. Steve, he threw that one across the field.
Yeah, he from the right hash to the left sidelines, deep on the out. Watch as Lloyd comes up, still working against Stanford route. And route pushes route by. Lloyd pushes route by. They're tangled up. And watch Tebow. Play fake, stands up, and this is a nice throw. Steps up and puts it right on the money. That's a deep out, and that's an NFL throw right there.
A gain of 19. First down and 10 of the 22. Buckhalter trying to bounce it outside, will not be able to. Terrific tackle, Tyvon Branch. Atlanta and Seattle facing each other today. Here's James Brown in New York.
Hey, Gus, after a Seattle pick, Atlanta makes them pay. Went on 3rd and goal. Matt Ryan hooking up with Roddy White, 5-yard strike. White, 7 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown. Atlanta by 24 over Seattle. Back to Gus and Steve.
All right, they clinch a playoff berth with the Giants' loss today. Second down and 12 of the 24. Tebow again with time in the end zone. Incomplete. He put it right on the money. And Lance Ball just couldn't hold on to it.
Well, he did put this right where it needed to be. Right past the defender.
Wow.
Wembley turns around, can't see it. That was a great throw. Lance Ball's got to catch it. It's a touchdown.
So that makes it 3rd down and 12 of the 24. You can tell that Tim Tebow, after coming out of Florida, has really spent a lot of time working on his motion. He's throwing it well. Quarterback draw. Tebow trying to get outside and does. And finally out of bounds at the 15. Tyvon Branch pushing him out of bounds, but Tebow, such a strong runner. 6 carries, 70 yards as he picked up 7 there. And here comes a field goal team.
Yeah, he still plays with so much intensity. And when a quarterback makes a run like that, it really says so much to your team that he's willing to do really anything to help you win. And when your guy does that at quarterback, everybody else jumps on board. That's what leadership is at this level. If you get your hands dirty, everybody else will too.
Steve Hauschka in to attempt a 35-yarder for the tie. And he has it. Game tied at 20, 5:03 to play, third quarter. Tim Tebow, very impressive today. Back in Oakland, to look at the scoring summary, Hauschka with the 35-yarder to tie it at 20. Jacoby Ford back deep, starts from the 8. And Ford at the 30, almost broke it as he gets to the 35. Oakland, Alameda County Coliseum, where the Raiders and the Broncos, two fierce rivals in the AFC West, continue to battle. First down, Bush. And Bush is taken down. Nice tackle made by Bruton after a 3-yard gain. We haven't seen as much McFadden in the second half as we saw in the first half.
No, we haven't. But those Raiders, they're really going to continue to try and run the football right at this Bronco defense. It's been the thing that has been consistent for them, and they've done a nice job of it. The Broncos have made some plays in the run game, but not enough. 2nd and 7 at the 37.
Play fake, Campbell looking downfield over the middle. Ford with a catch. And Jacoby Ford down at the 35. What a heck of a young player this is, folks. Goodman and Bruton with the tackle, but he gains 26.
Well, this is a route that the Raiders run so well. Deep crossing routes. They run them deeper than anybody in the NFL because of their speed at wide receiver. It gives them time to get down the field. The play action gives Campbell enough time to drop back, let the play develop, and then put the ball on the money. Great deep route. Not too many teams can give their quarterback that much time, even with play action.
Ford shaken up on the play as he's helped to the bench. First down at the 38. Bush. Bush to the 30. Very important game for the Oakland Raiders, folks, in order to keep their playoff hopes alive. Now that Kansas City has defeated St. Louis, Raiders need to win today.
They sure do. They've got to win to keep pace, to give themselves a chance against Kansas City. Kansas City then must lose next week, and then those two play in Week 17, regardless of what San Diego does.
Kansas City plays the Tennessee Titans at home next week. Titans handling the Houston Texans this afternoon. 2nd and 3 at the 31. Bush again. Diving into making tackle, Mario Hagan. So Darren McFadden on the sideline a few seconds ago.
Yeah, you see there when they do that, that's checking your shoulders to see if you've got maybe a little rotator or a little AC joint. And you see as he moves his head, he's probably got a stinger as well, which means you took a hit that either made your fingertips go numb or gave you a burning sensation down your neck.
3rd down and 2 at the 30. Raiders 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions today. Bush. And he won't get it. He needed 2, he got a yard. Denver does a nice job. And now they'll bring on Sebastian Janikowski again to attempt a field goal. Janikowski has had a good day. Good from 49 yards, good from 35 yards. This one will be spotted at the 37. So a 47-yard field goal attempt, excuse me.
And this is, he's got the strongest leg in the league, so it's no question he's got enough to get there.
And it's good. Sebastian Janikowski 3 for 3. Oakland with a 3-point lead. And a look at the scoring summary. 6 plays, 37 yards. Sebastian Janikowski nailing his 3rd straight field goal, a 47-yarder. That's in motion there by Thomas on that last play. Janikowski will kick it away. This one, folks, coming right into your living room. Picked up by Ball. Ball crosses the 35 up to the 36, an 18-yard return. From TV's #1 comedy to the #1 new comedy, the #1 news magazine, the #1 news show, and the #1 drama on television. Thanks for making CBS America's #1 network. Tim Tebow making his #1 start in the NFL. Has had a terrific game. He's 5 of 10, 92 yards passing, 6 carries, 70 yards rushing, a touchdown passing, and a touchdown rushing, which was 40 yards. From the 36, here's a handoff, Ball, and he won't go very far. And Tim Tebow has done a really nice job of throwing the football. You know, coming out of college, similar to Phillip Rivers, who had a hitch in his delivery when he came out of NC State. Tebow had a kind of a herky-jerky release, and it looks a lot better today than we saw last year at Florida.
Yeah, he does throw the football a little differently than he did a year ago, but there's so much that goes into this position. His throwing motion isn't the first thing that he needs to work on. He's doing well.
2nd down and 10. Drops this one off. Nicely done. Quinn, and he's upended at the 45. Close to the 1st down. A 9-yard gain. Chris Johnson there to stop him.
You know, you talk about, you throw this pass like this, it has little to do with your release. But one of the things that we found about Neil, when you talk to Tebow, you know, if he needs to work on his release, he's going to work on his release. If he needs to work on his film study, he'll do that. If he needs to lift weights, he'll do that. Whatever it's going to take for him to be a good quarterback, he's willing and ready to do, and will put 100% of his effort into it. That's what's exciting for me to watch this guy.
3rd down and 1, and a flag on the play. Looks like the Broncos may have jumped early. Somebody forgot the snap count.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's Chris Cooper, the right guard.
Right here, you see he just got off the ball a little quick. The Raiders have really done a great job, particularly Rolando McClain, of getting into the backfield. We noticed at halftime McClain and Tebow sought each other out. The Alabama guy and the Florida guy tapping each other, saying hello.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll return to Oakland after this message and a word from your local station. Ready to start the 4th quarter as you take a look at the scoring summary by quarters. 23-20 Raiders. Tim Tebow faced with the 3rd and 6 at his own 40. Broncos are 1 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. Jabbar Gaffney in motion. Tebow's been successful throwing it to the sideline today. Here's a screen, nothing doing. Raiders, we're ready for it.
Yeah, Correll Buckholder was going to go out and catch this, but Lamar Houston just gets mauled by McClain. Houston and McClain maul Correll Buckholder. I mean, both of them just tackle him, wouldn't let him release. Tim Tebow threw it to where Buckholder was supposed to be, and he couldn't get there.
Colquitt from the 26, his 6th punt of the game. Nick Miller back deep at his own 15. And Miller. Nice pivot. And he'll get to the 26-yard line, a 44-yard punt, a 10-yard return. David Bruton with the tackle on special teams. Now tonight is,
Yeah, surprisingly.
He's over there working for the enemy.
He's still
Still got voted off.
That's 80 did. I wonder if Terry and Howie and all those guys would do the same thing.
I don't think they can vote him off that.
Not at all. First down and 10 at the 27 for Campbell. Reese and McFadden back in. Here's Campbell throwing out of the backfield to Reese. He's got some running room. And Reese. Whoa, look at the fullback. Down the sideline. Big fella. Rumbling. Touchdown Raiders. 73 yards.
We mentioned in the early going, Gus, both these clubs have been bitten by the big play defensively, and the Broncos let it happen to them again. They just completely leave Reese uncovered. There's nobody on him. You see Williams trying to catch up with him. I don't even know that it was his responsibility. Nobody looked at Marcel Reese coming out of the backfield. It turned into a huge touchdown.
And a flag.
False start. Double clutch by the center, 5-yard penalty. Point.
Yeah, that's a lucky break for the Raiders that they had a penalty on themselves, because
John Condo is the snapper.
John Condo double clutched, and here's the touchdown. Right there, Reese, and that's the one thing, Gus, even the fullbacks for the Raiders can run. The Raiders have always been a fast football team, and that's evidence of it right there.
And the extra point good by Janikowski. Oakland extending their lead to 10, 30-20 as we start the fourth. Third receiving touchdown of the year for Marcel Reese. And he really got going. 73 yards. And for a guy that weighs 240 pounds, Steve, when he saw daylight, he turned on the afterburner.
Yeah, they weren't going to catch him from behind, and it was impressive. It was a great cut on about halfway through it.
Decker picks it up and gets drilled. And that was a serious hit by Sam Williams on special teams after an 18-yard return.
Yeah, here's the touchdown. Here's Reese here, and somebody has got to pick him up in coverage, and nobody does. You'll watch right there as Robinson goes in to rush the passer. One of the two had to drop back into coverage. Nobody did. Great cut there, going back inside around Bruton, and gets to the end zone.
Tim Tebow and the Broncos 1st and 10 at their own 24. Here's the handoff ball. And Steve, they're going to have to let Tim Tebow throw the football.
Well,
he's
got to throw the football, because they've got to do something to get the Raiders away from the line of scrimmage. They are absolutely dominating the offensive line of the Broncos. It's not that they're that much better, it's that they don't worry about Tim Tebow throwing the football.
Some big plays today. Reese with the 73-yarder. Jacoby Ford with a 71-yard run on the opening play from scrimmage for the Raiders. And then Tim Tebow with a 40-yard dash as well. 2nd and 9 at the 25. Play fake. Tebow with time. Gaffney over the shoulder. And Gaffney out of bounds at the 45. Who says Tim Tebow can't throw the ball, Steve?
Number 10,
Not me.
Whoever said that, they didn't know what they were talking about.
He laid it right in. It was right in the play action pass. He puts some air under it. Gaffney comes on the deep cross here.
Did you see the play fake? He looked like Boomer Esiason. 32-yard gain.
And that was well thrown. And look at the play action. Really good ball handling. He pulls the ball out, pulls it back in. Left-handed quarterback stands up.
Beautiful throw. Be interesting to see what our quarterbacks in the studio have to say about this. First down and 10 to the 43. Tebow again. This time he'll run it with some room. And he goes forward and gets inside the 40 to the 38, a 5-yard gain.
And that's a big run, and that's important on a first down play to get him inside. Now he comes back. The play fake's okay, but they're getting such pressure. He tucks it very quickly and then fights for those extra yards, which is exactly what you saw him do a year ago. But he is ultimately going to have to stand in the pocket and make more throws like he just did to Gaffney to win this football game.
75 rushing yards, second most all-time for Denver quarterback, and this is Tebow's first game. Buckhalter running. Shaughnessy brings him down after gain of 3.
And this is critical here. They've got to pick this third down up. They're out of field goal range. Hauschka is not going to hit a 53-yarder.
Third down and 2 at the 35. Tim Tebow telling us yesterday, I'm a football player that happens to play the position of quarterback. And if you look at his jersey, if you look at his helmet, that's what you're seeing. He could have been playing left tackle today based on how that uniform looks. 12:01 to go in the 4th timeout. Denver, they have 2 remaining. 30-20 Raiders. Welcome back to Oakland. Raider fans excited about this one. Third down and 2 for Denver at their own 35. Here's the pitch. Ball, can he get there? Lowers his shoulder, dives, and it'll be close. Looks like he may have gotten it, though. John Henderson, the former Jaguar, stops it.
Give him the first down. This is just student body left. The guard tackle go out. The fullback, Larson, comes out ahead of him, and Ball sticks his head down and just jumps in. They get a hat on a hat, and the running back's just got to get that last yard on his own, and he does. Nice job.
First down and 10 at the 32 for the Broncos. Larson and Ball out of the offset eye. They give it to Ball, and he goes down after 2-yard pickup. John Henderson there to stop him again at the 30.
And the Raiders continue to attack the line of scrimmage.
Injured player on the field. And that is Spencer Larson, the fullback. Listed as the only fullback on the Denver roster. But they can bring a tight end in to play fullback. Richard Quinn, 81, or Daniel Colts, 85. As Larson has to be helped off the field. His 3rd year out of Arizona.
Yeah, and that's going to change some things for Denver. They're going to have to bring a tight end into play, and those tight ends, while they're there, they're not as nifty moving up inside in traffic. And let's face it, you might have to go to some different personnel packages to run the same running plays that they've been running all day. Plus, you're going to have a tight end running a fullback's route or running his motion, and it just opens it up for a mental mistake.
2nd and 8 at the 30. Ball, the single setback, play fake. Tebow throws it in the corner up top, and incomplete. That one intended for Brandon Lloyd.
Yeah, and the Raiders were all over it. You look up at the top, Stanford route. He wants no part of the short route. He keeps a 10-yard cushion on Lloyd and just plays the football when it goes up. That ball's thrown out of play by Tebow. But the Raiders wanted no part of giving up a big play with a 10-point lead in the 4th quarter.
Raiders fighting for their lives, their playoff lives. They need to win to stay relevant. 3rd and 8 at the 30. Tebow out of the shotgun. Quarterback draw. Bounces it outside, and he's chopped down. Great open field tackle by guess who? Nnamdi Asomugha.
You'll watch right out to the right of your screen. Asomugha comes in, ducks right under Buckhalter, and takes the leg out of Tebow and won't let him convert the first down. Great tackle by a cover corner.
And Nnamdi Asomugha has been really plagued by a tender ankle. He told me yesterday at the Raiders facility that he takes 3 shots per game. 1 before, 1 at halftime, and 1 in the 3rd quarter. Hauschka, good from 46 and 35. This time from 45. And he nails it. So the kicker's doing a terrific job. Hauschka 3 for 3. Welcome back. Our score, Oakland 30, Denver 23. Hauschka with a 45-yarder. He's a perfect 3 of 3. Janikowski a perfect 3 of 3 for the Raiders. And Hauschka will send it away. Jacoby Ford, the deep man. And Hauschka slips. Ball picked up at the 27.
Yeah, that's
a 9-yard return.
That kicker could get hurt doing that. Watch what his foot slides about a good 3 feet. Plants and just whoop.
Same thing happened to Janikowski in the same spot.
Well, like we said, this field is 6 feet below sea level, so it's a little soft.
Tonight is Survivor Sunday on CBS. After 60 minutes, see the final vote that will make one survivor a millionaire. Followed by the live reunion show with the return of Coach Jimmy Johnson tonight on CBS. First down and 10 at the 35. Raiders have scored on their last 3 possessions. A touchdown and 2 field goals. The handoff. Straight ahead. Watch out, McFadden. A 20-yard gain. Nate Jones and Andre Goodman with the saving tackle.
And this is just what McFadden has done all year. He gets the most out of the smallest crease. You see him, he's like walking down a narrow aisle in a theater with people trying to grab him. Watch the narrow hole he goes through. There's good play. Well, right there, he just runs out of the grip of Vickerson as that hole closes up behind him.
15 carries, 103 yards for McFadden. First down at the 45. They give it to him again, and he'll lean forward and get to the 40. Ronaldo Hill. It's a 5-yard gain.
Well, this is the point of the game where if you're the Denver Broncos, you're just digging your heels in knowing Jason Campbell's going to do nothing except hand the football to number 20 or number 29, and they're going to run the football and make you stop.
Great year for McFadden. This season better than his last 2.
Yeah, these are injury-plagued seasons there. This one is healthy this year. 1,101 yards.
2nd and 5 at the 40. Play action. Campbell dumps it. Intended for Reese, who did have a step. And as we know, that big guy can really move it down the sideline when he has the ball.
Yeah, that time DJ Williams did have coverage on Reese, but Jason Campbell couldn't put it on him.
Makes it 3rd down and 5 at the 40. Big play for Denver here, their defense. Are they out of field goal range, Steve?
Well, I would say no. Usually you'd say yes, but Janikowski's good from 60. Now, I don't know that Tom Cable will try it. He may elect with a touchdown lead to punt them deep inside the 10, but I think Janikowski could hit this.
Campbell has done a nice job running the ball as well, like Tebow. Here's Campbell, sets up, throws to the sideline, knocked down. Terrific defensive back play by 9-year veteran Andre Goodman, and now a decision has to be made, and they will not attempt the field goal. Leckler comes back on.
You can see Goodman as they get up the field. He starts stopping and knowing just that Lewis Murphy's not going to go deep. Either something that Murphy did in his route tipped him off, but it was obvious. Goodman knew that that was not a deep route. He started falling behind deliberately on the route.
Sidquan Thompson back deep. Hand over end kick. Lets it go over his head. And will be down inside the 10. Great special teams play. Stevie Brown downs it. And here comes Tim Tebow. 8:21 to play. He's down by 7. Welcome back, Tim Tebow in his first start. It's been one to remember. Now with 8:21 to go in the 4th, he has the ball at the 6-yard line. His team down by 7. First down. Ball knocked backwards into the end zone. And they should mark this at about the 1. A loss of 5.
Wow, Tommy Kelly, right on the nose, just gets around the block of Beatles and just gets into the backfield from behind as this play shut off on front and the backside. The Raiders are all over the run game of Denver, and the Broncos right now have no answer.
So Tebow Now faced with 2nd and 14 at the 2. Looking for a little run. That's a safety. What a play. Quentin Groves. The Broncos refusing to be creative. So predictable, and the Raiders jump on them.
Well, the two rookie offensive linemen, Zane Beadles and J.D. Walton, have really struggled with penetration right up in between the tackles. Down inside, Tommy Kelly, and when he was in there, Richard Seymour, but certainly now John Henderson, the Raiders' front four and linebackers. Look at them just dive in. No chance at all for the Denver run game. The Raiders have absolutely dominated the offensive line of the Broncos. And the Raiders turned it up a notch.
They certainly did.
Tom Cable electing not to try the long field goal, used Shane Leckler to punt the ball down inside the 10-yard line, and his defense comes up with 2 consecutive tackles for loss that put the Broncos in their own end zone.
So Colquitt comes in to punt it from the 20. Nick Miller will field it at the 10-yard line. Gets outside. And knocked out of bounds. A flag on the play. This will be a late hit. Nate Jones pushes him late. So they'll add 15 after the run.
As much as we've talked about the leadership.
Kicking team. Having late hit out of bounds. 15 yards from the.
As much as we've talked about the leadership of Tim Tebow, and he is a good leader for that Broncos team, Tom Cable has got the Oakland Raiders playing like a group of guys that really care about each other. They're playing hard for their head coach. He's given them an identity that they can really grab onto. And when he's asked them to step up at every turn, they have done it.
The Raiders are undefeated in the division. And after this game, they'll have one more division opponent. It'll be Kansas City, final week of the season at KC. Raiders take on the Colts next week. 1st and 10 at the 47. McFadden. Let's take a look at the standings. AFC West, Kansas City. Great job defeating St. Louis today on the road in the Governor's Cup.
Yeah, there's no question. Oakland does need some help. They need San Diego, obviously, to lose, and they need Kansas City to lose twice. And Oakland's got to catch up. But this is impressive. The 4-0 in the division. And it's possible for the first time since the 1970 merger that if the Raiders go 6-0 in the division, they may not make the playoffs.
2nd down and 8 at the 45. Campbell over the middle. Jacoby Ford dives, and Jacoby, another big play in front of Champ Bailey. He picks up 15 yards.
Yeah, this is a nice little, just a hitch route, the inside edge of the numbers. And Campbell loops it out there, gets it right behind Williams, who's dropping into the zone. He can't stop the play.
1st down at the Denver 30. 6:15 to go. In the 4th, Schillen's in motion. And McFadden, both hands on the football. First man to meet him, DJ Williams. And it's a 3-yard gain.
And the Raiders now in the driver's seat inside of 6 minutes with a 9-point lead in the ball. And they've got a running game that has been consistently productive the entire day.
Napoleon Kaufman, the former midshipman from Navy, with 1294 and 97. Second down and 9 at the 29. McFadden, and he's hit and dropped. Mario Hagan again. This linebacker's doing a nice job closing. Hagan, Ayers, DJ Williams, Jason Hunter.
And it's been the story of their season. This Denver team plays very solid defense, makes good tackles, plays hard continually, but then they'll have a lapse that gives them a big play against them for a touchdown. We just saw it on the opening play of the game when Jacoby Ford ran 71 yards on a reverse, and then, of course, when Marcel Reese catches a 71-yard touchdown pass from the fullback spot.
Third down and 9 at the 29. Campbell, sideline, Miller, and he won't pick up the first down. Wesley Woodyard brings him down. And now Tom Cable has a decision to make, and it's already been made. Here comes Janikowski.
Yeah, and this is interesting because he's going to kick this field goal almost from the exact spot where he and Hauschka slipped on kickoff attempts.
Hey, what ball is that?
Janikowski today good from 49, 35, and 47 yards. This will be a 40-yard attempt. And a timeout call by the Raiders.
Their first charge timeout. It's a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, Tom Cable didn't like something about what was going on the field. It seemed they had 11 guys out there, so it wasn't a personnel miscue, but you see there. Janikowski trying to find a spot, and what he'll do is tamp that down so it's a little firmer. We can plan, and that's the whole key. The key to an accurate kicker isn't so much which foot hits the ball, but where his plant foot lands so that he can swing his kicking leg through the football, particularly for soccer-style kickers.
Playing soccer was something Janikowski grew up doing.
And now
instead of having a chance to kick a field goal, they're going for it.
And
on fourth down and 2, Campbell back onto the field.
And that just seems to me like Tom Cable had a change of heart.
A lot of coaches going for it on fourth down this year.
And I don't know, with a 9-point lead, it'll give you a 12-point lead if you make it. He wants more.
And to eat up more time. Schilling's in motion. Here's Campbell looking underneath. And it's caught. First down, Zach Miller.
Zach Miller.
A 5-yard gain on fourth and 2.
Veteran quarterback play. Campbell just doesn't even really bother with the play fake, just steps back, scans the field, finds Miller. Just a great poised play by quarterback, and I'll tell you, Tom Cable asked it of his veteran quarterback, and he came through. His offense executed perfectly on a play-action pass on fourth and 2.
Now the Raiders will eat up a lot of clock. Denver with 2 timeouts left and the 2-minute warning. Raiders with 2. First down. They'll keep it on the ground now. And a false start on Oakland.
Yeah, Khalif Barnes.
False start. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Jets and Steelers playing in the snow in the Steel City. Here's James Brown in New York.
Hey, Gus and Steve. Pittsburgh marched 82 yards down the field with a couple chances to win it. Here's the last play of the game, trailing by 5 to the Jets. Ben Roethlisberger, no good. So the New York Jets hold on with a 5-point win over Pittsburgh. Gus Johnson, Steve Tasker.
Wow, what a big win for the Jets.
It was a huge win. They were wobbling down the stretch, and they got a big win in Pittsburgh.
Campbell. Oh, he's going to throw it. Looking. And he finds McFadden. McFadden leaning forward. And he gets inside the 5. DJ Williams stops him. What's the philosophy here by Tom Cable?
Well, Jason Campbell is so comfortable. It's a play-action pass. He comes boots out to the right, then looks back. The third option is McFadden, who comes wide open. Jason Campbell has made some great decisions with the football today. And he's been so poised, and he's been carted off once, not carted, but he had to be helped off the field once. Tough, gritty performance by the quarterback. When so much attention was going to the rookie for Denver getting his first start, Campbell has been great.
First down and goal at the 1. Michael Bush straight ahead, touchdown. Raiders.
Straight ahead blocking. This is what the Raiders have done all day. And that helps them put 38 points on the board with 39 coming.
Michael Bush, 11 carries, 21 yards, 2 touchdowns. 3:37 to play in the 4th quarter. The extra point good. And some more pushing and shoving going on the field. So with 3:37 to go, the Raiders keeping their playoff hopes alive. Tom Cable needs some help as you take a look at the AFC playoff picture.
Yeah, Pittsburgh losing today. The Jets winning to put a further tight grip on the wild card, with Baltimore winning as well against New Orleans. Both those clubs getting big victories against high-quality opponents. And San Diego and Jacksonville are running out of time.
San Diego will play Cincinnati next week on the road. Big game for the Chargers. Kansas City against Tennessee. You know Jeff Fisher is going to have his guys ready, looking to spoil what they can for the Chiefs.
And I think if you look at this Raiders sideline, it's a group of players and coaches who really feel like, I think, have found their identity this year. They've bought in to Tom Cable and his philosophy. They feel good about the direction they're in. They're getting good play from their best players, and their role players are playing extremely hard for them. I mean, it's a good atmosphere in Oakland.
Decker picking it up. And he's taken down to the 30, lost the ball. Raiders say they have it. And Denver will hold on. Hiram Eugene with the tackle.
And you'll see he's going to come in. It's going to come out late as Decker's going to get hit hard right there. And, yeah, ball comes out and Robinson comes up with it.
Tim Tebow and the Broncos at their own 31. 3:31 to go. Tebow to throw it. And it's caught. Nice throw. Brandon Lloyd with the reception. A 5-yard gain. Stanford route brings him down. And the Broncos will try to get to the line of scrimmage quickly.
Yeah, when you talk about Tim Tebow and the way he's quarterback today, has not played badly at all, but let's face it, the Broncos have not asked him to do very much.
Tebow again with time. Dumps it out, incomplete. Daniel Graham, the tight end. That one thrown a little bit high.
Tebow's had some good runs. They've used his wheels, his legs, I think, in the right way. They've asked him to run a couple of quarterback draws. They put him at risk a little bit, no question, more than you would another more traditional quarterback, but he's risen to the occasion. He's thrown the ball, I think, better than we thought he would, but they haven't asked him to do that very much. In fact, I think they should have asked him to throw the football way more than they have.
Tebow, 8 of 16, 138 yards. 3rd and 5. Out of the gun. Rolling out. Stays on his feet. And is taken down to the 25. Great pursuit by the Raiders as Matt Shaughnessy comes up with the tackle. 2nd sack of the day.
And there's some bad blood as Tebow's going to come out. He can't get the ball. He wanted to throw it to Gaffney, and Nnamdi Asomugha had that play shut off. And Shaughnessy, just with grit and determination, just stays after him. He spins out of the tackle by Houston. Shaughnessy gets him. And that's what it's going to take. I mean, he's going to have to, sooner or later, Tim Tebow's going to have to stay in the pocket and make some throws, and his receivers are going to have to win on the outside.
Denver punting, Colquitt at the 12. Nick Miller from the 29. And they jump on him quickly. Britt Davis, 44-yard punt, 4-yard return, and what a dominating performance it's been for the Raiders on the ground.
That started from the opening play from scrimmage, 71-yard reverse. Then McFadden got into the act. So did Jason Campbell, Michael Bush. And, of course, the big pass play to Reese, which was a long handoff down the sideline. But these Raiders, when the game is close and you've got McFadden and Bush able to stay in it and use them, the Raiders are a good football team.
Bush running. And he gets it 35. And that is a gain of 3. Ryan McBean.
And Denver uses their timeout.
So we've talked about the AFC. Let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture. Atlanta right now with the chance at home field advantage throughout, followed by Philly, who came back to beat the Giants today on the road. Chicago, and how about St. Louis? They lose today. Steve, they're 6-8 and still in first place in the NFC West.
Yeah, in the NFC West, all those clubs are in. San Francisco and Seattle are also still in the race. San Francisco at 5-9, and of course Seattle at 6-8. All three in the hunt for that division title.
New Orleans falling to Baltimore today. Champs had won 6 in a row. 2nd and 7 at the 36. Reese. And that should take us to the 2-minute warning. Well, Denver will call another timeout. A lot going on in the National Football League. Let's take a look at some of the headlines. Atlanta clinching a playoff spot. The Jets winning on the road at Pittsburgh ends their 2-game slide. And then Philly, how about Deshaun Jackson? What a play this young man made today and last week against Dallas.
It's amazing how things change from week to week. The New York Jets were wobbling coming in. Nobody gave them a chance to go into Pittsburgh and win the way they had played the last 2 weeks, and yet they get it done.
3rd down, 3 at the 40. Pitch, McFadden. And McFadden stays in bounds. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. An 8-yard gain. Jason Hunter with the tackle. 2 minutes to play. Raiders on CBS. Raiders will take a knee. Broncos out of timeouts. Tim Tebow's first start turned out to be a very, very positive one. As you take a look at his numbers, 8 of 16, 138. He threw a 33-yard touchdown, rushed for 78 yards, second most all time by a Denver quarterback, and it's just his first game.
Yeah, it's interesting because the only reason he got a chance to start this week was because Kyle Orton has rib problems and he can't throw the football well enough to play. But let's face it, the Broncos wanted to get a look at Tebow. They weren't disappointed that he got a chance to play, given the fact that they have no playoff aspirations this year, so they want to get a look at him. The question is, how long of a look do you want now? If Kyle Orton is ready to play again next week, he's probably the guy that gives you the best chance to win.
One more look at the standings. Kansas City 9-5. Oakland improves to 7-7. San Diego at 8-6. as the Broncos will fall to 1-4 in the division. Raiders with 503 yards today. You have to tip your hat to Tom Cable and his entire staff, because Coach Cable continues to motivate this team. They've had some very tough losses last week against Jacksonville. Janikowski missing a field goal earlier this year against Arizona, but they keep fighting. Next week, Peyton Manning and the Colts come into town. Big game for Indy, huge game for Indy. And Kansas City, the final game of the season in KC. Coach Studesville had his team prepared. Raiders a little too much today as the two coaches shake hands. The final score, 39-23, Oakland. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by the Survivor finale and live reunion show. So for Steve Tasker, this is Gus Johnson saying so long from Oakland, California. Tim Tebow, solid job in his first game as a starter, but the Raiders were too much. You've been watching the National Football League on CBS.